Hey guys, Gathering Magic back again, and just wanted to do a quick video on some of the thoughts I had about Land coming out, Land 1.5. We've got some time before Land 1.5 comes out, so these are just 5 things that I thought would be helpful for you if you are getting ready for the next phase of Land, and just some of it's pretty basic, but just some things to think about and to maybe get started now just to prepare for when Land 1.5 comes out. The first thing, and it's pretty obvious, whatever land you have, go ahead and survey it. The sooner you know what land types you have, the better. Do you have enough land for what you want to do? I mean, are you someone that just wants 1 or 2 land plots just to be involved in land, just to be able to play, just to be able to, figure out what it is, maybe do some farming for grain, do a little storage, do some research for the Secret of Praetoria? Just kind of decide now, how much land do you need? Now is the time to pick it up and get ready for 1.5. If you do have several plots, if you have a track, if you have a region, do you have enough variety of terrains? Are there certain terrains you're lacking? Are there certain resources that you think you will be lacking? If you have a track and have, let's say, 70 or 80 of the same terrain, maybe what you're going to want to do is sell or swap some of those plots, even if you end up getting plots in a different region, just to give yourself a more variety of resources. So this might be something to think about. Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to play your ranked battles every day. Ranked battles don't take that long. The soulbound cards that you get are basically free cards. Every card is free production points. And just a tip for the soulbound cards you get, whatever league you're in, especially if you're in the lower leagues, if you're in bronze or silver, combine enough cards to get to the max for your tier, if you're lucky enough to do that. If you have any extras, don't just auto combine them. Save some of your soulbound cards for land. So let's say you're in silver and you've got a common and you get it to level 5. Don't combine that card anymore. Start a second card and build that card up, and then save that card for land. If you do have multiple plots, I would suggest not combining your gold foil legendaries if you get them. I know they're hard to get, but they are possible to get in the higher tiers, gold and above. So if you have a single BCX of a gold foil legendary, that will give you 2,500 production points, which is more than a common, more than a rare, more than even a regular legendary. And it will only cost you 2,500 DEC, because a gold foil legendary takes 4 to max out. So if you only have 1 on your plot, it's only at 25% of max. So you will only have to use 25% of the max DEC, which is required. So it will only cost you 2,500 DEC rather than 10,000. So if you are fortunate enough to have gold foil legendaries, it might be wise to just don't combine them. Another obvious thing is, probably you guys already know, collect as much DEC as you can. Besides the staking costs, there are going to be a lot of other things that you're going to need DEC for, possibly transportation costs. You're probably going to need DEC to purchase grain to feed your monsters. So try not to rent or spend any DEC unless you absolutely have to. Now is the time to build your bag. You get as much DEC as you can. If you are not able or you don't want to buy DEC, there are several options to get DEC. One is renting cards, which really is not going to work, because the cards that you're renting out, you're probably going to need for land, or you're going to have to save to play your ranked battles. So renting cards might be out. I would not recommend burning SPS or swapping SPS for DEC. I feel SPS is extremely undervalued and will go higher in the future. Another way to get DEC is burning cards. Once again, not recommended, because you're going to need those cards for land. So how can you get DEC rather than buying it? The other option you can do is you can swap some assets on Hive Engine. So on Hive Engine, there is a swap feature where you can go, and any token that is on Hive Engine, you could swap that for DEC. So that could be vouchers, that could be packs, that could be GLX tokens, or it could be from this new game, part tokens that you get from playing Golem Overlord. And right now, one part token in Golem Overlord will give you about 1,000 DEC. So there are several options. Another option is Splinter Forge. Now, right now, the Forge to DEC ratio is not very good. It's 3 to 1. But you can earn, 1,000, couple thousand Forge pretty easily in a few days, especially if you get on the leaderboards, which isn't very hard to do for bronze or silver. So, an extra 1,000, 2,000 Forgium, you're looking at, several hundred to maybe 1,000 DEC that you can earn in a week just by playing Splinter Forge, for a few minutes a day. So if you're on a budget, you don't have a lot of money to spend, just spend a little bit of time playing Splinter Forge and you can get some free DEC. And like I said, the new game that I'm really falling in love with, Golem Overlord, the part token and the shard tokens are really holding their value. The game is growing extremely fast. If you're willing to part with some of your, if you're willing to part with your part token, right now one part token will get you about 1,000 DEC and a shard will get you about 700 DEC. So if you want to split some of your tokens between building your hero on Golem Overlord and increasing your stats, and taking the rest of it and swapping it, selling it on a Hive engine, that is a good possibility and is a good way to build some DEC in decent amounts. Another thing to prepare for land is what splinters do you need for your terrain types? Just for an example, for my plots, I have 5 plots right now. I have a jungle, 2 mountains, a plains, and a desert. So if I look at the terrain preferences, right now, like for my desert and for my mountain, fire is a good option because it will give a 10% bonus to both of those. I also have a plains and a jungle, which life works well for 2 of those. And also plains has a bonus for dragon and desert has a bonus for dragon. So with my 5 plots, I've got 2 different splinters that will give me 10% bonuses. So right now I know that the ones that I need to focus on are fire, life, and dragon splinters. So whether you have one plot or a track or a region, especially if you have like a track and you've got like 70 or 80 plots that are the same type, you're really going to want to focus, on a certain splinter, and you're going to want to load up on that card. Like if you have, 60 Badlands, you're not going to want life or earth cards. You're going to want to concentrate on fire and death. So now's the time to go on the market and possibly look at acquiring some cards that fit your budget for those 2 splinters to help max out. Every little bonus is going to help on land. So do as much as you can now to get the cards that you need that will give you those bonuses that will add up over time. So another thing is plan out what cards you can afford to stake on your plots. Now remember, when you stake a monster on your plots, you're not going to be able to use them. You can't use them in rank play, you can't use them in guild brawls. So these are going to be the cards that you have in your collection that are maybe either not the powerful cards, maybe they're reward cards that you got from the previous reward set that you got tons of and you just don't use. These are the cards that you're going to want to put on your land. You're not going to want to put your best cards on land because those are the ones you're going to want to save for rank play or guild brawls. And another point to remember is you don't have to have max cards on your land. Use what you can afford to lose for playing. If you only have, a level 4 rare that you never use, don't be afraid to go ahead and put that on some of your plots. You don't have to have the maximum card maxed out on every plot of land. Do what you can afford, especially if you don't have 50,000 DEC to spend on every plot. I mean, most players don't. I mean, I have 5 plots. I don't plan on spending 250,000 DEC, have it staked, on my land. I'm going to do what I can afford. My production will probably be a lot lower. I'm fine with that. The only thing that's going to affect is time. I'm still going to get production. I'm still going to get things done on my land. It just may take longer than it would take someone else. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm in no rush. One thing that you guys could try doing too is if you do have one max monster and you don't have a lot of DEC, go ahead and put that on your plot. Don't worry if the rest of your spots on that plot are empty for the time being. You can add those, as you can afford, to have the DEC to cover the cost for staking, and as you acquire enough monsters to put on that plot. So don't feel like, oh, I can't put anything on this plot until I've got 5 monsters ready to go. You can put them down one at a time. So just some final thoughts. Just remember, you don't have to do everything at once. If you still need to buy cards, just buy cards and DEC as you can. There's no rush. Probably as we get closer to phase 1.5, prices will start going up, but don't worry about that. Just do what you can afford to right now. Now is probably the time. If there's plots that you need to either buy or trade or sell, this is probably the time to do it. Like for me, for my plots, I'm pretty happy with what I have. I'm glad that I got a plot in Area 51. My wife and I have one in 43. I've got a couple magical plots I'm happy with. I'm glad I have a couple mountains because I think they're going to produce ore, and I think that's going to be one of the rare resources in the game. The jungle plot, I may end up trading at some point, but for the most part, I'm very happy with my plots and where I am right now. And just remember, the main point of this too is don't stress. I mean, this game's meant to be fun. Land's going to be complex. Take your time, play your battles every day, do some research, watch some videos, watch some content. There's a lot of great content creators out there that are going over land and things that you can do now. So just try to relax, have fun, play the game. Learn a little bit. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Feel free to ask any of the content creators. Just say, hey, okay, what do you think about this? How many plots do you think I need if I want to do this? How much DEC do you think I need? Just go ahead and ask questions, interact with the community. We've got a great community here in Splinterlands. Everyone's willing to help each other. So just remember that this is a game. It's meant to be fun. Land's going to be exciting. It is going to take some time, but there's really no rush. Just relax and have fun and enjoy the game. So those are just some points I thought I wanted to share with you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you are getting ready for land. If you do have land, hope you guys got some great plots. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And until then, I will see you again soon with another video. Take care.